Clement of Rome, Letter to the Corinthians Alpha, Episode 13. Elikrines kai ake raioi, ete kai amne si kakoi, esalelus. Pasa stasis kai pan schisma bedeluktan ein humen. Epi tois parap tomasin ton plesion epenthete. Ta husteremata auton idia ekrinete. Clement continues in his praise and commendation of the Corinthians. He says, elikrines, which is pure or sincere, and uncorrupted, ake raioi, you were, eta. Eta is the second plural, imperfect indicative active of the verb eimi sum. It's called that because there is another eimi, not accented the same way, which means something different. This one is referred to as eimi ibo, and it means to go, and it has a futurive sense, as you can see by the Latin equivalent. This one is the existential verb, the one to exist or to be. So you were, he says, uncorrupted and sincere. There we can see an alpha privative on the adjective keraios, and there's another one coming, amne si kakoi. Here is an alpha privative as well. And this word means not remembering wrongs. You can see in here the alpha privative, the stem mene, which is from mimnesko, to remember, so mnesi, and then kakoi, which is evil. So you were not remembering of evils. In other words, forgiving, not remembering of evils toward one another, eis alelus. Here the preposition eis plus the accusative, so alelus, masculine, plural, and accusative. These three adjectives, then, which Clement uses to describe the Corinthians, are high praise: sincere, uncorrupted, and not holding grudges, forgiving toward one another. All stasis, pasa and stasis, are both feminine, singular, and nominative. And stasis is a word with a very long history in Athenian politics. It means to stand apart from someone. It's based on the verb histemi, the very common me verb histemi. So standing apart from someone means strife or civil faction. It's a word with a political pedigree. All strife and all schisma, all division, schism, all splitting. All of this was bedeluktan. This means hateful, loathsome, disgusting, abominable, and it is a word that is found in the Septuagint in Proverbs 17:15, and it is also found in the letter to Titus, chapter 1, verse 16, this word bedeluktan. These things, pasastasis and pan schisma, were abominable to you. Ein here again is from eimi sum, its third singular, and its imperfect indicative. For the transgressions, epi tois paraptomasin, for the transgressions, and this word paraptomasin is neuter, plural, and dative. It means to walk past the boundary, and so it means transgression. For the transgressions, ton plesion, of those who were near you. The adverb here, plesion, is used of one's neighbor, and with the genitive plural here showing possession of the transgressions, we get the picture clearly. For your neighbor's transgressions, epenthete, you were mourning, you were grieving. This is from the verb, the epsilon contract verb, pentheo, which means to grieve, and it is the imperfect indicative. We can see the first principal part, we can see the augment, and then the secondary ending. It is instructive to look at how this is accented. The augment, then the stem, then the epsilon, which is also part of the stem, plus the ending, epsilon, tau, epsilon, and when these combine, it yields epsilon iota, this contraction. So we must ask, where was the accent in the uncontracted form? The accent is here on the antepenult, epenthe, ete, and the accent remains on that syllable when contracted, but it must become a circumflex. And finally, ta husteremata auton, the failings, the deficiencies of them, You were considering ekrinete, your own, idia. Husteremata is from the verb, related to the verb hustereo, another epsilon contract, which means to be lacking or to be wanting, to be deficient. Here it's a neuter plural accusative, substantive, that is a noun. So the deficiencies of them, meaning your neighbors, you were thinking that they were your own, idia. And ekrinete is imperfect also. We see the augment and the first principal part and the secondary ending.